Um, there have been very many accusations and counter accusations that have been peddled. And one thing that surprises me is that the people who are peddling accusations are the very people who have been working with President Museveni. One person that I will not name accused me of having received money from Honorable Jane Ruth Acheng. In the name of God, I've never met Jane. I've not spoken to her on phone, physically, never. Our coming in to support President Museveni is both tactical and strategic. One, as members of the Uganda People's Congress, and then two, as the people of Lango. The history of Lango and the politics of the Uganda People's Congress in Uganda involves members of the UPC sitting down to dialogue. How Uganda got independence in 1962 was as a result of the UPC leadership going to Lancaster to sit down with a white man to discuss. When we had the election in 61 and 62 for parliament, the UPC had come second. The UPC had to sit down with Kabaka Yeka. They sat, allied, and formed government. And that is how Milton Obote got power. Why we are coming out in the open to endorse President Museveni is to enable the people of Lango to be able to demand for services from government, because that has been a condition created by this very government for very many years. To speak about coming to contest for party president and then handing over the position to or endorsing President Museveni, we were only two candidates nominated for the position of party president, Jimmy Akena and myself. The constitution of the UPC limits terms of office to 2 terms. Akena has served these 2 terms, 2015 to 2020, 2020 to 2025. Since two people were nominated, I went and challenged Akena's nomination in court. There is no one fighting Akena. It is the UPC constitution being implemented. Court agreed with me and said Akena cannot be party president for a 3rd term. Now, because we have been fighting in between, we saw Akena trying to organize a fictitious delegates conference, which made illegal resolutions. When he picked nomination forms from the Electoral Commission, I also picked nomination forms. We wanted to present a candidate for president under the Uganda People's Congress. Because we still have a case in court, the Electoral Commission said it could not nominate any of us. This contradiction was created by Jimmy Akena. If he had stood down and allowed me to come in as party president fully sworn in before the delegates conference, this would not have happened. The message to the people of Lango by now would have been vote for UPC for president, vote for UPC local government, vote for UPC parliament. But because Akena created a contradiction intentionally, it is why we are into this confusion. But to let the election to go, then that takes us to the benefit, the question of the masses. How do we position the people of Lango to benefit from the services of this government? Because that has been a condition created that for you to get support, for you to get services, you must support government. Like I have said here, Bushenyi, Bugisu were the biggest beneficiaries of the Milton Obote government under the Uganda People's Congress. How did they get these benefits? It's because they supported the UPC, they supported Milton Obote. To this day, when you go to Bushenyi municipality, we have candidates of the UPC carrying the flag both at local government and parliament. And after here, I am going to Bushenyi. So why we are doing this as the people of Lango and members of the UPC, leaders of the UPC, is to lessen the contradiction around service delivery. Let us find another reason that the president will give for not sorting our healthcare, for not sorting our education system, for not sorting our economics and economy, and for not sorting every other basic social service. It is a debt we are lending to President Museveni, our support. Once we lend it to him, we are also going to come back and say, Mr. President, the people of Lango endorsed, voted you overwhelmingly. We need services. On top of the services, we shall demand for appointments. We have seen, not to recommend or support endorse anybody here, we have seen the little improvement that has happened in our healthcare services. Why? We have a child of the soil who is a minister of health, right? So can we demand for more positions? Why is it that Teso has more positions? Actually has more positions. Lango only has 2. And of these 2, they are fighting. You like it or not, on 15th, we are losing one of them. So as people of Lango, what then do we decide to do? Is to sit down and think through and say, okay, let us support him. So that after supporting him, we can go back and make a demand. What we are also trying to remove, to put away and put to an end in Lango, are 1 or 2 individuals running to State House in the middle of the night in the name of the UPC and members of Lango to pick money. When they pick that money, they go develop themselves but never come back to the people. We are saying no picking money from State House. What we are demanding from State House are services to the people of Lango. Whether someone is in a Molatar, a Patch, Kole, Lira, they should be able to access government services that are of good quality. That is why we are coming in to support President Museveni in this election, but push for the UPC vote at local government and parliament. But if there are people that the voters may be interested in pushing back to work with President Museveni for particular interests, we also want to leave that question to the voter. But importantly, let's vote the members of UPC at all levels. We vote President Museveni for president. When our time comes, when we are organized internally, as we are going to do in the next 5 years after these elections, 2031 will have a different narrative. We are not here to fight anybody. We are not here to blackmail anybody. We are here to fight to remove the internal contradiction that has been perpetuated by self-seeking politicians who use the name of Lango, who use the name of UPC for personal enrichment. If you ask them where their children go to school, they are not in Uganda. If you ask them where they get medical services, it is not in Uganda. But you and me, we go to Lira main hospital, we go to the health center FOS. If we don't find medical services there available, it is us who get affected. That is what this election is all about. Service delivery, pushing opportunists out, bringing in leaders who have a sense of belonging to them, members who vote them. It's not about buying. If there is anybody who has given my money and it hasn't reached, please bring it. But I have not received any money from anybody, be it President Museveni, be it Honorable Jane Ruth Acheng, be it any member of the National Resistance Movement. Whatever we are using are small monies that have been pulled together by members of the Uganda People's Congress and people of Lango, opinion leaders who think that Lango should take a different trajectory in the politics of Uganda. We should begin defining the trajectory of the politics of this country. Why is it that TESO has a vice president? It has a speaker. It has about 4 ministers. Lango has 2. Those are questions that we must begin thinking. Those leaders, when they go to meet with the politicians in State House, they discuss in the interest of the people of TESO. That's why you find that TESO is improving in most of its services. Infrastructure development, TESO is better generally than Lango. We want those services in Lango. For that end, we have resolved to support President Yoweri Museveni for president.
Dwak ko ta duong boto ba ini natin meno cho wa kere kan itu peng bisu melao an nyinga oloni achai Patrick ame aya Paj district ame Paj district ber district ame guri me UPC duong ti ye yen president wa melao apol Milton Oborre en ya Paj tabel ma ko horo donc tinini wana na beri party president wa me UPC ama bero akena Jimmy endong peti achung dom yo tiwa tammi ikomprese na boro meti achung yene wan ma jo ma pat kidan ononi president Museveni ename tuero guoklo me Uganda me wan moho tama anama moho tamani Museveni wan polo ye me duoke mo habi metello lowa me Uganda President Museveni mi ana tammi wana duahe ana twang UPC oywe wakti ma chel tieke de kuch duong tutwal karo kata ngej peki ubino bedi lango kor mojo ma do ka jo kon Dr. Bidong mako jo kre neko jo kre ballo kucha jo makotino buyumon manu President Museveni te kato dari mo konyo ko na chani ana lokki kuche tu malo me Uganda Mario gina Museveni te mabe ikarcha kaini ya pa ne bino lera inuoni yo apua tia me duong buge ti yo etana tia lokki aya pa kitine na no keni lam tia me cha here dok feri ma kohoro bina na halira city kaene kon watia chil kitine no keni Yoweri Museveni utiuti chatek meme yo lam be tumal wa me Uganda nyulo ma pach e ka no kena mo tia ber imioga tia mo bino mio kategora para bongwen ame boda ti ye twer ba ti ye market vendors ti ye jo pola kategora para bongwen mio chani kimchalo chini cha me mioga cha jo ti ukede mia mani alo ti kom jo tino wada cha wor school eka ena me puto hogi ukede chani bedo PDM ametia be kimchalo me agor moro ngata goro muzee moro ti tia mengo tia ga mo chente ni mino achiel ka mi itro welo kede punni itro pito kede gwen itro tim ja pola me kelo chini chao mia mane jamo ga mioga kede PDM yo tia tim maber beroro en mia kobi President Museveni berdana ber pitinga toke kena me troti mo kore jameno me konyongo luak me Uganda magi kimere a joti tia menda mi uchente due mi uchinti me piera bi ame peti president na cha here i Uganda kan ame tibe President Museveni ya konyo joti mi joti da tikere kwa yot mi otini ana moho ni President Museveni ana do kapach ame ta mobilizing jo mewe kwira Museveni beda duong te lanya mewe hen mede kire telewa lowa me Uganda akobo man pi lobona kero bana akwayo
do Papa Patrick aya do holo district tini ni bedo nino ame wano moho kere tamwa achalo balo chwa UPC ame tia bear metam ni chak bitu kuira take president wa Kaguta Museveni iticha take ame no tio ame wano tio neno chahre shion na hamane ne dang kotia wora nyima kokwong tiunungu tikere kuch ame peho moro ken petie kai comparing kede lobo ken ame rushu tie Uganda tia be omi tiune ne yakina ushunga ame tia shunga duj bala petinga toro ame romo mi wa medde kede kuch ame ti Uganda okelo komeda I pachi chenne project ya pola popat ame weho wana chalo nywale me Uganda wana chalo nywale me doholo tia ma uti maber dong mira watie ni wan dushu kanya kino me chwako Museveni we hendok dong medde metelo Uganda piticha ber ame pod dong nyima me en pod bino medde metiyo naha koyo twan Papa Patrick Bernia ya idoholo district
Natal Benata. Achalo no pero achalo no abero UPC uchweny tinini ana moko tama meneno ni wan lwake UPC miero chwak President Yoweri Museveni bidon loba pol ame wanu nene wangwa ame eno timo mane ne omiyo wan mon tiu chunga tek ana kobo ni ana bero dako to eti program Museveni kara men chake Paris model omiyo wana mane ni tiu ngeyo naka tiyo business mon rik bera ta eta duong lobo obino yabo wang mon miyo wan tiu chunga tek tiu piti tino wa tiu gwako pachi wa amen wo tiran kere chienne mori chingwa akatu obini komi iromu chung ina romu ko biya no no mi ana po Museveni attack ame wanu moko tangwa me onye kui mwagani imatal benata me uyam